Okay, so one thing that we do here at camp is we have the campers work on a goal for the time that they are here, and several of the campers have as a strategy to use visual prompts. So one thing that I created was these cards to help the individual campers. So for example, this one, for this camper, he worked on making sure he ended his conversations appropriately, and so this helped him visualize that it was his turn to talk, and then when I felt that it was my turn to talk, I would slowly turn it and he would see that it would be my turn at that moment. And so that was pretty helpful. This camper, his goal was to stay on task. So we wrote in the steps of the task that he had, and he would be in charge of checking it off as he completed it. And if we decided that it was appropriate to have an incentive, then we wrote that here in this box. This camper, her goal was to share her materials. So we put this next to her, and anytime she needed to be reminded to share, we would just point to it and immediately she would share her items. For this camper, she needed to initiate asking for help. So we stuck this right next to her when she would work on anything, and this was extremely helpful for her. She had the visual there. She asked way more questions when she had this right next to her. These three are for a particular camper who was working on answering questions appropriately, but we found out that this 5-year-old camper could read. So this was an added strategy to his goal. So he had a difficult time answering why questions, but when he read it, he would process it, and then he would be able to answer that question. When he would not want to do any of the choices that we gave him, we tried to figure out what it is that was going on, so we would point to this one. If we couldn't get to him, we would show him this card, and he would think about it, and eventually we would be able to figure out what was going on. So these were really helpful for the campers and helping them meet their goals.